Remember, if you're finding it difficult to social distance or even self-isolate and you really have to go out, you're probably a cunt.
Looking to stop smoking? Tried all of the mainstream solutions with little to no success? Then maybe it's time to try something different. Maybe it's time to try Pastry Plan. Pioneered in North Yorkshire by a group of blind butchers, Pastry Plan works on the concept of replacing tobacco with pastry. It's been scientifically proven that smoking pastries such as pie crusts and pasty flakes is up to 450 times more healthier than smoking tobacco.
I'm now down to smoking 3 pie crusts a day. My lips have never been smoother.
I gave up smoking tobacco 3 months ago, and now I just smoke sausage roll dust. It's like inhaling God's breath.
It's changed my life. My wife now tells me that my balls smell of butter. Pastry Plan has brought us closer together. Live longer. Smoke pastry. May cause irreversible damage to liver and spleen. Has been significantly linked to chronic wet farts.
Welcome to the Adam and No podcast. I'm Adam and I'm 37. Getting it in there early so you don't call me 40 during the podcast.
I think, no, I can still call you 40. Well, we are close age though. You cannot deny that. Like, you're 39, I'm 39.
I'm 37, mate.
That's what that way. I suppose.
What do you mean, you suppose? That is me age.
It is. You're 37. I'm just going to have to, but it's close to 40, that, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, not as close as you are, so don't bring it in the bracket. But why don't we tell the listeners, this is our first podcast and we're doing it online. Yeah. You're in your house, I'm in mine. It's pretty professional.
It's very professional. Don't have to what?
I don't have to look at you properly. Like in 3D, you know what I mean?
I thought you were going to say...
I can just see you virtually.
Yeah, it feels much more professional as well now because you're fully clothed for this one.
Just in case my mum comes in.
Do you know what it is? I reckon the podcast will be funny after we take our tops off. I'm like, what, Adam? Why we got to take our tops off? You know what it is, Reed? Wouldn't it be funny though? I reckon the listeners would like it more if we took our pants off as well. Just keep your pants on, mate.
That's it. Decent press-ups first though, so I look buff. So what have you been doing this? Oh, you're going to interrupt us?
Well, there was going to be loads of that in there because we're doing it on the computer now, so we're doing it over the internet.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to see what you've been doing this week because there's loads to do when you're self-isolating or distant.
I've been just basically dominating the internet with a little new video that I slapped together on a fucking field.
That's fucking good, that, It was really good. I'm impressed. It's gone down well.
It has. I was surprised that it went down as well as it did, to be honest, because when I did it, I came back...
No, I thought it would do mint, but it's actually exceeded how mint I thought it would do.
Yeah, I thought, do you know what it is? I was like, I went there and I literally thought I'm going to try and do this video because I said to you, I think it would be quite good crack to do one, and I quite thought it might be quite funny and it might be a good time to bring that character back and that, and obviously it was, but I was like, the content, I kind of scribbled it down the night before and then you sent over some bits and pieces to kind of blend in with it all, and I was just like, is this actually, I don't even know, is this good? Yeah. And I don't even know, I just came back from it and I was just thinking, when you just I felt like I just totally rushed it and I just didn't know whether it was even funny, and I was just when I got back home and that, I was just like, is this going to be good? And I started watching bits and I was like, as you know, when you do the stuff yourself, you kind of you listen to it and you know the jokes, so you know what's coming, that, so you obviously don't find it as funny. Mm-hmm. So I edited it together quickly and that, and then I was got the missus in, I was like, is this funny? Do you think this is funny enough? And then she just burst out laughing within 30, 40 seconds or something. I was like, mint. So and then obviously sent it to you and you were like, honestly, Norman, you're much more talented than me.
I know, you're such a hero to me. I just wondered if you would be my best man at your funeral.
Yeah, so I was totally lacking confidence with it, to be honest, and it turned out that it was actually quite funny. So there we go. It worked out all right, and I think
I think it's one of your better ones you've ever done. I'm going to give you that. No, they're all good. it's always for you and that for a little diddly kid from wherever you're from.
Do you know what it is? You had to get this. The subject matter had to be right though. Like I was like, you've got to be careful, because like it's a serious thing, and if we start like going on like too much, like I don't know, like taking the piss a little bit too far, it could be like taken out of context. And
but we said we wanted to send a positive message. Which it was, but have a little bit of fucking crack in the middle of it, you know what I mean? Because it is getting a bit out of hand, all these... honestly, I've been seeing again these people, just, if you look at it, it's just people, there's kids playing around my house, just are playing football with 5 or 6 of them running the thing, and I thought there's supposed to be social distancing. I just didn't get it.
I just didn't know whether it's ever going to kick in until literally people are shitting their pants. Because they just think, that's it. Like, but you know what it is? That the one side, because I think the best thing about doing this podcast would be not
kicking away from it.
To keep away from it. Like I'm sure the people who listen to it, and we're getting
just bring them down by telling them like, I know it's been really
we're good. Fucking number 1 in Bermuda. That's what I said when we started doing this podcast. I said, Adam, right, look, this is going to sound like a little bit like over the top and that, but my goal is to get to number 1 in Bermuda, and once we've done that, I'm retiring, and I'm just going to. So this is going to be the last podcast. We've done
last
it.
Last podcast, Bermuda. It's not just number 1 in comedy charts.
No.
Bermuda. It's like the official number 1. If you're in Bermuda now and you're listening to a podcast and you're going, whoa, what's like top of all the podcast charts? You're talking about the Adam and Nom show in Bermuda. Yeah. I don't even know where that is. Where is it? Is that in like South America somewhere?
Like Caribbean, isn't it? Bermuda. Aye.
Again, get them facts in.
Oh no, is it? I'm thinking of Barbados.
Same. It's where that triangle is, Bermuda Triangle.
It is. It's definitely the Caribbean.
The Caribbean.
I think. The Caribbean. Yeah. So
I remember when me and Jeff went to the Caribbean 3 years ago just to do some faxes and some work, getting on the deadlines, and it was essentially one of the best things we ever did with invoicing.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. We went out there a few years ago just to talk to a few of the locals about maybe, branching out over there, opening a few offices, and seeing if we could get our condom business off the ground out there. We've got these glow-in-the-dark ones with little lights that you can shoot into the air, and then they come floating down. You know, like them toys that you always, when you go on holiday and there's the guys like dotted about, and they've got them toys, and they're just basically like shooting stuff in the air, and the kids are just
looking at your face going, yeah.
Yeah, do you want that? And they've got like laser pens and flick knives for the kids and that. Which one do you want? And you're just like, all right, okay. Yeah, basically that. So that but with condoms. So what you do is you shoot the condom into the air and it floats down onto your dick, but the light attracts in like women.
like
a kind of like Close Encounters kind of condom, that type of thing. I think it's a good idea.
It is. It's a really good idea. We should market it. Let's just get it manufactured. Basically, let's get on the Dragon's Den.
Well, this is a perfect time to get into manufacturing, like especially getting things made over in China. It'll just be absolutely. We'll totally get. There's going to be knee delays there because you can't even get like.
Well, they haven't got any cases anymore. They've cleared them all out. But we're getting off that topic again. But it's all good. How's your free non-alcoholic beer again?
Well, yeah, I tell you what it is. It's hit me hard, like all this tension and all this craziness. I've actually drank 3 non-alcoholic beers today. I'm gonna have to fucking curb that, mate. And I'm gonna have to come. Listen, this is the thing though. I've had a bit of crap with myself. I was like, listen, you've been on these non-alcoholic beers now for 3 months. Not 3 months drinking non-alcoholic beer, but like not drinking for 3 months. Yeah. And I thought there's a bit of shit going on in the world now. Maybe it's time to start like getting some proper alcohol in. So I bought myself. I actually bought myself 12 Corona beers.
Did you?
But the thing is like, the thing is like the loads of people. I saw this video on YouTube and like someone was like, human beings are fucking idiots, and it was because no one was buying the Corona beer. And I was like,
I think that's probably just all in their mind. It's like, is it conscious thought of just not buying that because it's related to the same name? Because I can't. Is there people that stupid who would go, I'm not having that in case it gives me the virus?
Yeah, well, that's it.
I think there is.
And I went in, and the guy was like, "Oh, are you buying a box of that?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I keep hearing people talking about it, so I thought I'd give it a try." And he was like, "Mate, that's a proper dad joke." And I was like, "Well, I'm a fucking dad, so I'm allowed to get away with shit like this." So yeah, there you go. And so I've got some Coronas in the garage, in the garage, ready to break into when fucking shit goes down. But
so you just got to stock up. I'm thinking of home brewing, to be honest. I'm drinking wine at the minute, some red wine, and I'm thinking, hey, let's just start brewing some of my own shit. Like get like 100 pints and stuff, and get a couple of barrels in the garage.
Open
and
your own bar.
Get ready for the apocalypse. You know what it is? We're talking about it, but I really wish that stayed in that big that house in Blythe now. Like if the apocalypse is going to happen.
Oh, I know. You had Adam used to live in this house in Blythe, and it was like perfect one because it had like access to a supermarket. If you set up a zip line from the third floor, it was like straight 3 stories. It was just perfect. It had everything, and you could have easily barricaded the ground floor. But there's no zombies. The thing is with this apocalypse,
we're all zombies to technology, and that's what we are. Yeah.
Well, it's funny actually.
But on a positive note of this whole thing, I think that it's came together, and I think it's bringing communities and that together. I seen a guy today looking out my front window. I was looking out, and some guy, just weird, doesn't happen to my street, was working out with his son had a bench outside, you know, like J style, like in the middle of the yard. I had a weight bench, and he was just working out, and I was like, yeah, go on, boy.
That's mental, that, isn't it? It's funny actually because today I looked out and there was like an old woman and she was just out there and there was just people walking past and she was just spitting at them. She was just hockling on them, and it was like, I thought that's nice. Like, I mean, it's good crack, you know what I mean? Like, she's just like out there. She's just basically spitting on the curb, and you know, she wasn't passing it round. She said like, oh, you know, this is what I used to do when I was young. When we were young, this was like a sign of affection. I'm from Glasgow.
Glasgow, come on. Sign of perfection. I mean, affection.
The thing is, though, like, I tried to like write some like bits and pieces today, like for some of the skits, and I was struggling. Like, I was thinking, whoa, I don't know whether I've got any like funniness in us at the moment. I feel like it's all been absorbed by like just fucking all the shite.
Yeah,
life.
It is tough, like, isn't it?
But we're all in the same boat. So. But I tell you what,
we're here on this podcast to bring you up, which no one seems to be doing, and I keep on getting back into the corona and everything like that.
The thing is, well, this is it, man. Maybe it's time to, like, you know, I'll call it a day, and we'll go.
Why don't we just have a good old game of Dutch onions?
You cannot beat Dutch onions. No, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do some questions. I've got some questions here. Right, This is from David Topping, which is quite. I reckon. Davey T. Do you reckon David Topping? He's like someone who works in like he's I don't know,
pizza
makes pizzas or something. Aye. Hi, my name's David Topping. I'm a pizza master. Basically, you name it.
Anything you want,
I've got it, babes.
Yeah.
That's what he starts saying to the girls. Excuse me, I couldn't help but notice you were eyeing up my toppings. Yeah, the name's David Toppings. I'm a qualified pizza topper.
My original name was David Banks, but I changed it when I got into the pizza business, and I made it by default to Toppins, Davy Toppins.
Davy Toppings. Anyway, it's interesting because David actually sent us a question about food. Well, about a meal. Weird. He said pick 4 people to have dinner with, alive or past. So, like 4 people who are dead or alive, basically, that you'd like to have. So
does that mean like with? If I'm having one with a dead person, they're dead on the chair, and I've got to like feed them in that? Come on, Hitler, get it in your mouth. Get your tashes in the way, you dafty.
Look, I'll put forth Adam's suggestions. He would like Jimmy Savile, Fred West,
Rosemary West, and Rosemary West. Oh God, we're getting posh with Rosemary. If they'd used those Rosemary in court, she never would have got found out.
Nah, definitely not. I think she would have. Like, she's a fucking horrible looking fuck. I heard. Did you see her? She's like a really.
I used to call her Heather all the time when she used to have her glasses on in the morning. I used to go, "Hello, Rose." She'll love that. Romantic. Right, so what I did for Mother's Day for her today. I went, "Oh, you know, it's totally Mother's Day, and that would definitely be now because we're self-isolating and we're 6 days in, and I'm not going stir crazy." It's excellent. 2 kids don't drive you wild. So
anyway,
really enjoying that.
So what did you do? Did you just you and Heather just dressed up as Fred and Rosemary West and just posed for photos for
buried
Insta?
The kids in the garden. Oh, that's a bit rough, isn't it?
You can't say that, man.
Well,
I suppose you just
joking.
Did. Yeah. Aye. So see, this is the thing. People listen to this for upbeat, but where I want a Fred and Rose West now, it's getting worse. So who are your 4 people that you're gonna have out for dinner?
Me. I would probably have.
I'm gonna pick Tupac.
He's definitely going to be in there. I'm gonna then pick probably Hitler. I'm gonna have to, and I know people like, what? I just want to question his mind. I just be like, mate, what was your thoughts? Like, you were in a community centre, talking in front of 10 people, then it was 20, then it was 50, and it was 100, and then you went, you know what it is? All right, I'm gonna take over the world and just kill all Jews. What?
Yeah, this conversation is just absolutely getting sucked right down in it. Right. So I like the fact that you said that he started. I like the fact that you said that Hitler started off in a community centre as well. You make him sound like he's like working with like the youth. Oh yeah, he started off at the Grove, you know, like the local community centre, working with PG and Duncan, and they just worked his way up the ranks.
I think it was like, you know, them centres when people used to come and be, you know, whatever.
The centres.
He did work with small numbers.
You've got Tupac, Hitler.
Let's have a think. I don't know. It's a tough one, that one, to think about. Everyone I would want to... probably Ricky Gervais, because they're lighting the mood and that. I like him. He's good crack. He's intelligent. Yeah. And then probably Jean-Claude Van Damme, just to get a little bit like, if I got bored, he could like do the splits and that and show how to do like proper excellent moves. He could probably karate chop the table in half, you know what I mean?
Or he do the splits. He fucking hates doing the splits. Every time you see him, he's just doing the splits. You just see him like when you go, like I saw him in Aldi the other day between two checkouts just doing the splits. And people are like, how man, Jean-Claude, man, we're trying to get my fucking trolleys through, man. He's like, chill out. This is what I do. I go around the world.
That's a quite fucking good impression for you.
Right, so my four would probably be I'm a big fan of Louis Theroux, so I think I'd have Louis in there because I think he'd be fascinating to talk to. So I'd have Louis Theroux. I don't know who else is there. Who's good?
Who's good? It's your fucking choices, mate.
I'm gonna have to pick Bobby De Niro as well. I reckon Bobby would be Robert De Niro. Do
you think he'll be good? Like, he's a mint actor. Do you think he's
I think he'd be like,
hello, what the fuck am I doing here?
That's my impression of him.
You've been working on impressions all weekend, haven't you?
I've been working. Forget about it. Listen to me, Adam. I listen to the podcast every day, and it's a fucking pile of rat shit. Fuck you, and fuck your fucking bakery.
Actually, yeah, he didn't advert for a bakery, didn't he?
He did, didn't he? Fucking hell.
No, I haven't been working on my impressions, but... and Chris Walken. Yeah. No. You gotta do it. Come on, get Chris.
Anyone who he can do an impression of will be coming to his party.
I'm gonna have a meal, and I'm gonna sit there, and I'm gonna eat every last drop, and then I'm gonna dance out the door, and I'm gonna come right back, and I'm gonna sit down, and I'm going to have more food. And then I'm going to go to Hong Kong and buy a hat, and a real big hat, and then get out of there and go home to my wife and my kid. Yeah.
So that's that your four, really?
Yeah, it's
is it just the impressions you can do?
Yeah,
what about gigs? You can do gigs, can't you? I haven't done a gigs impression for a while.
You know, my brother, he's got a bloody beautiful wife. I've been through her. You know,
I love me boots.
You know, me best mate, he's got a beautiful mum. I've fucking been through her as well. And I every time I do one of my mates' mums, I always wear me boots. Because I love me boots.
Was that four you did then? Louis Theroux.
I'd have
two
Louis
people
Theroux.
that you can do an impression of. And
no, I would actually. I think that would be quite good.
I'll have Michael Caine because I'll fucking... Right.
Yeah, we'll get Michael Caine in as well. Yeah, so I would have Robert De Niro. I'd have... Louis Theroux.
Remind me never to come to your your little dinner party because it sounds fucking shit, to be honest. Like,
are you kidding?
I've got Hitler in that there.
Oh, why would you? Well, I'm not. I can't pick the same ones as you, can I? I'm having to go like more like mainstream here.
Well, no, there was no rules, Norman. You could still pick the same ones as you, me, even.
And I think I'd probably have who could be my last one. I
love how we're doing loads of women that would have. There.
I know who I'd put in my last one as well. John Lennon. Guess why?
Oh, go! Because it's the impression of him. Why do you keep laughing like an old person?
It's because I think it's the non-alcoholic whiskey that I'm drinking.
Carry on.
What was I saying? John Lennon.
Oh, you can do John Lennon, putting him in there. It would be interesting to have that though, so I'll let you off with that one.
When we were in the studio, recording Abbey Pencil, we were with Yoko, and she ended up, taking down my trousers and showing us what forth. And then Paul came in and sort of, took his down as well. And before we knew it, we were having a Beatles orgy, man. There we go.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I was going to try and come along with some of that type of...
Oh, what are you going to do, Paul?
I don't know, Paul, but I don't even know how to do
Ringo.
them. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. There we go. I'll have John Lennon, Chris Walken, Robert De Niro, and Louis Theroux. And the reason that I'm picking them is because I can do impressions of 3 of them. And the other one, I like watching these documentaries, so there we go. That's good enough. We'll move on to the next question. This one's from...
What was another question?
Oh, there's a few. Not from him, though. This is from a different guy. This is from Sean Robson.
Sean Robson.
And he wants to know, when did we leave Crammy High? He did his GCSEs in 95, and he did his A-levels in 97, and he said, like Norm, I hate the general public. You fucker. Aye, that's a
another boring bastard like Norman who's quite like miserable and like, I hate people. I don't like anyone.
You know what it is? This
you know what it is? Anyone who comes up to me and talks to us, I'm just gonna like ignore.
Well, I'm loving this isolation thing. I think it's good crack. I think this is what the world should be like.
Yeah,
it's just like when you see people down the street, you can cross the road now to avoid them and not feel bad. You can just be like, "Oh, mate, I'm doing it for you," and they're like, "Oh, cheers, mate." Like, yeah. But
we can still like shout across the road to each other, though, can't we?
Nah, honestly,
I've got my headphones in. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I might just put them in, but not have anything on, just so I can ignore people as well now completely.
Mm-hmm. I've started just wearing a massive, thick black pair of glasses and getting a cane and just pretending I'm blind. Don't know why that, because you'd have to be deaf as well, and I'm that deaf, so just no one ever speaks to me at all. So it's really good.
Oh, I'm enjoying that's good. I think, yeah, most of the time anyway, they just come up to you and ask where I am. Oh, where's that lad who does the Buzzcocks videos? And he's like, oh, I didn't know, but I'm here. Do you want us to do like a photograph or something like that? Oh, no, mate, we're only interested in the one who's got the talent, you know what I mean? Like, you are reading that. Actually, can you go and stand in the background? We'll take a selfie and you can just be in the background.
Hey, I'll take that, mate.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, basically, when did you leave? When did you leave Crammy High to do your GCSEs? To go back to that question.
Oh, right,
He did his GCSEs in 95. I think I left in 97. My GCSEs, and I went
started
back.
High school. I started in 95 because I'm not 40, so probably yeah. I left in 2000, mate.
Oh well, there you go. Adam left in 2000. I left in 97.
Just up a notch. I think I left, and about 2 months later, the towers, Twin Towers, the attack happened while you were watching Short Circuit.
Well, we've talked about like all kinds. Yeah, we've pulled World War II in, the most fucking hideous dictator of all time. We've got the virus in at the beginning, and now we're pulling in the World Trade Center thing. So people listen to this will be thinking, "Cheers, Adam and Norm, you fucking classic, like making me forget about stuff."
Any natural disasters we can think of, we can just bring everyone up on. No.
Yeah. So, that's it.
It's just where my mind goes. Does that answer his question?
That answers his question. Basically, it's a bit of a short question. I've got a few short ones.
I feel like he might be knocking on the fucking door trying to murder us next or something like that, because it was quite a murderous question. Do you think?
Well, he did actually send another one in
with his picture of his dick,
and he said, "Do you mind if I collect your toenail clippings out of your bathroom toilet?"
How does he know I put them there?
He said he knows you put them there because you bought your house off him, and he has cameras still up in the house and he watches you. And he said he wants to make a necklace out of your toenail clippings.
Sounds good. Like, what's he called again?
He's called Sean Robson.
Is he good looking?
Actually, I think he might be. He says I'm actually a good looking lad as well, so that'll probably make you feel a bit more relaxed about it all.
It will do. It feels less kind of rapey. So
yeah, well, this is
more
it.
Consensual.
Yeah, well, that's it. Oh.
What?
You've brought rape into it now.
I know. I'm fucking sorry about this.
You're the dark horse. Yeah, you're like just.
I am.
I'm just bringing light-hearted impressions of likable American actors and famous musicians, and you're bringing in just really dark shit. That's just really awful. Like, but anyway, we'll go on to the next question. This one's from Joe. And he said, this is quite a deep one, actually. You'll probably get Adam getting really like deep here, and he'll give you loads of feedback and stuff.
I'll get deep inside.
He said, when do you know what you want to do in life? I'm 18 now and I have no fucking idea, and I feel like I'm running out of time.
You never run out of time. You're never too late to do anything you want to do. In my opinion, I think there's people put age limits on things. This is getting really serious, but I'm being serious. It's a serious question. Did someone really ask you this?
Yeah. I did.
Yeah, I don't. People think like, oh, when you're 25, I've got to have kids. I've got to be settled down. I've got to have a wife. And I just don't think any of that has age limits. And I think people, it's sort of like a social thing which just came out, and people just think it's a benchmark that you have to do, but you don't have to do anything. You can do whenever you want. You can get married when you're 50. You can have kids whenever. Probably less for women because obviously the age of when you're having. But knowing what you want to do in life and that, I still don't even know what I want to do. You know what I mean? I just think, just do what makes you happy. That's my answer to it, and just follow whatever you want to do.
Absolutely.
You might not find what you want to do until you're 40, 50-year-old. There's some great people who are famous and done what they did, and they weren't famous until they were. Again, I'm going to bring up amazing facts. I can't name anyone like that.
I can. Albert Einstein. I can. He was a patent clerk, wasn't he? I don't know how old he was, but he did all of his main work when he was just making like barely any money.
He did as well, actually. Who's the Quincy Jones? I think he was nobody until he was like
Quincy,
32 or something
wasn't
like that.
Wasn't he like a detective?
Quincy. I don't know why I'm doing that. That was sort of like a mix between. That's
the other one, in it.
Columbo.
So you went out the back door, and that's where you found her knickers in a cigarette box. Actually, I tell you what it is. I actually worked in Bedlinton for a bit, and one day I went out when I used to smoke, and outside the back door there was a cigarette box on the floor, and I kind of kicked it, and there was a pair of knickers stuffed into the cigarette box, and I thought that is a weird thing to want to smoke. Pair of knickers.
So what did you do with them when you got home?
I put them. I came back to yours, and I put them in your dad's underwear drawer.
Oh.
And the rest, well, let's just say the rest is history.
It was weird because you know what it is? My dad was making breakfast in the morning after, and he kept bending over and accidentally moving up his dressing gown and going, "Oops, sorry." And I was like, "Oh, that's weird."
And you were like, "Whoa, why? Dad, you're a bit flirty this morning." And you were like, "Actually, I like it. It's your confidence. I like it."
Yeah.
That is fucking awful as well. So it's just getting this podcast is it's awful. It's just horrible. Why are you listening to this? I'm talking to you who's got your headphones in now, listening to this, and you're thinking, these are kind of funny from Newcastle. These we're weird, man. Why are you listening to us for?
This is why we're number one in Bermuda.
That's
a bit rough, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we've answered this guy's question, and I put a little fact in there about finding knickers in a cigarette box. That might be a thing, though, you know that. That might be there's probably people from Bedlinton going, oh, that's what we do. We don't have money. We pay for things like shopping and that with an empty cigarette box filled with an old pair of sort of used knickers.
If they've got frilly bits on, that's a 20.
Did you see if they've got crusty bits on?
I said if it's got frilly bits on, it's a 20. Fuck off.
That's what you said. Oh,
frilly bits.
I was thinking, Adam, you're getting a little bit risky there, mind.
Welcome to Story Corner with me, Rupert Simmons. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men raped him.
Hi, my name's Dave Fontuni, and welcome to Date Master. Today we will be covering first encounters with ladies. You're at a party, and a desirable lady catches your eye. It's important to stay calm. It's a well-known fact that women find men more attractive when they're calm. Make the first move. Offer her a slice of bread, but don't be pushy. You don't want to look desperate. If your offer of bread is met with a lack of interest, then be a gentleman about it and offer to cup one of her breasts. It's a well-known fact that women have breasts, and cupping them in most cases is seen as a sign of affection. If the lady smiles and doesn't show any signs of fear, now would be a good time to use your other hand to gesture towards your genitals. With breasts cupped and genitals made aware of, it's time to introduce yourself. Start with your name, any hobbies or interests, and of course, don't forget to mention your mum. It's a well-known fact many women are actually also mums. Bringing your mum up in conversation is a great way to find common ground and create a strong sexual bond. If all went well, at this stage, it's probably time to start talking contraception.
Last question. This one's from James Bird. I feel like this podcast just turned into us answering questions, but it's a good crack. This one's from James Bird. This is a good question, actually. It's quite an emotional one.
Yeah. So basically, can we just stop you now before you say the question? You said this one's a good one, so the last ones you said were shit. Is that what you're saying?
No. What I'm saying is they've all been good, but this one,
yeah.
I think this one's got like something a little bit extra. Yeah, it's got like something spicy in it. It's a bit like when you've had like you're at a buffet and you've had like the little sausage roll and you go, oh, that's nice, that's canny, and then you move on, you get like a Scotch egg and you go, oh, you little fucking bastard. Oh, I like
slicing a bit of quiche there.
And then all of a sudden, you see the lad come out and he's got like the tray, and on the tray you can see the pizza, and you're like, oh, there's a bit of that. And you get the pizza, and you're like, oh, it's fucking lush. And then you out the corner of your eye, you clock the chicken wings, and you go, fuck, give me that shit now. And you're literally running over, and you just pick them up, and you go, these are next level, these. And you get your plate, and you start loading up the chicken wings. Well, this guy's questions the chicken wings.
Cool. Go on. Cool.
He says,
don't know why I said that.
He says, how much fanny has Steve Cram had?
Is that even answerable?
Well, I don't actually think there's a metric to measure that. Like, he's had that much. It goes beyond. All I know is that he's one of his calling cards is every time he slept with someone, he leaves a pair of their underwear in a tar box in Pedleton somewhere. and I found one of them, so I can vouch for that.
Yeah, vouch for that.
Yeah,
I don't know
Steve
how
Cram.
many other ones he's done around Newcastle. Oh, he's been all around the world, Steve Cram. Just think about all
he's
the
a fucking total
clunges.
shagger as well. He's like a machine,
Cram.
isn't he? That's
Steve
what
Cram
it is.
might listen to this. I don't know why he fucking would. He's probably turned it off at the start. But yeah, and if you have, just can you confirm any numbers?
I reckon these numbers. He'll probably just say something total quizzical like, well, how many stars are there in the sky? And you'll be like, actually, Steve, that's deep. And he's like, yep, I've seen them all. I've seen every single fanny on earth.
Even your mum's.
Yeah, so I think that's it. I think if you're female and you've got a pulse and obviously you're the correct age, then I think Steve's been there. I think that's the best way to measure it. So we could probably put those details into Google and it'll churn out a number, and that's how much fanny Steve Cram's had. And if you're Steve Cram's like solicitor and you're listening to this, please don't send us any kind of like anything in the post, any kind of threatening kind of paper.
Unless it's a tar box with nickers in.
Well, yeah, that'll probably be that. You'll wake up tomorrow morning, that'll be like on your doorstep. You'll go out and you'll be like, what the fuck?
He knows. Yeah. He knows.
He knows things. So that's it. That's the questions. I think they were quite good. We've got loads though, you know. We've got loads of questions because it's obviously starting
I had
to get...
a few there, but obviously I just didn't ask any in that because you were like, can I still ask the questions and that because I want to tell me, Mum, that I'm on to reading level 6 and that.
Aye, so there you go. There's all the questions, and Adam's just got questions for next time we do it. So, but what about that guy you said who's contacted you and said, since the corona thing's kicked off, do you reckon you can do 2 podcasts a week?
Oh, fucking hell, I know.
I was like,
I would love to, like, but you got to realise that you got to still work as well. And when you have 2 kids in your house and you're not allowed to go out in that, and there's only so much things you can do in a house without wanting to strangle your children. So I'm only joking. I don't really want to strangle them.
No.
But
well, this is it. I mean, and I think the thing is that's like the type of thing I would have said. I didn't know who this guy is. He might have kids himself, but it's like that sort of like the world you live in when you're about 21 and you just think, now that no one's doing out, and you just do this to entertain me. And you think, because the world's just sort of floating around just to entertain us, you know, everyone else's stuff and that. You won't have anything else to do. Say, actually, mate, we've got.
To be honest, though, you could probably what we could do is we could actually do more of these podcasts. We could actually do more, but it's the skits and that what take the longest part of it. So it's impossible to do more than one podcast because the skits take all week to do. So, well, not going to say they take all week, but you got to write them, and then it takes ages to record them and stuff like that, and
just
put
to
together.
Get them right, and also to make them. Well, some of them, I'm sure, some of the listeners have probably listened to them and thought, "How well, lads, why you included that? That one was shit." And it's like some of them aren't as funny as the other ones, but we've just got to like kind of fill it out a bit. We've made a rod for our own back, really.
We have.
Most
I should have
podcasts
did all
just
the mint
do
ones and that, and then you like put them ones in, and that's all.
Yeah, I know, them total rubbishy ones. Aye. So I would love to do more though. Do you know what it is? I was actually thinking we might have started this podcast at the perfect time. It's a bit like, I was thinking it's a bit like when that guy, what do you call him, out of Mork and Mindy, went to Vietnam and went, "Good
Robin Williams.
morning, Vietnam." We're like the equivalent of that, like in the present
In
day.
Bermuda.
We're like keeping the Geordies like entertained and I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is. I'll tell you what we'll do. I would do more than one podcast a week if you all just keep on sharing it and get loads, and then someone come in and give her a sponsor for an episode and stuff like that, and then I'll do more for you, and we'll do more. It'll be good.
That would be good.
I'll do it full
we should
time.
Get onto this guy. Say like, "Oh, where do you work?" And he'd be like, "Oh, like I work in Aldi." Say, "Right, well, give us half your wages, and we'll do one, and we'll mention you again." And he'd be like, "Oh, do that.
We'll give you a sponsor. This one's sponsored by Darren Beagle." That's not his name, by the way, so don't go up there. Anyone go, "Yeah, you that Darren Beagle who wanted them to do more than one podcast. You're proper getting in our face and all that, so I want to jin you."
Aye, Darren Beagle. I thought you said Darren Eagle, but no. Aye. So that's it. But I think this might be perfect because we can't really like do much. Everyone's working from home now, so people just got to try and crack on, and it's like everyone's in the same boat. But again, we're not meant to be talking about the corona thing, so maybe we just need to
else to do and talk about. This goes on to it again.
It's so funny though, like how ridiculous some people are as well about it though. Like fucking me, man, with the toilet roll situation. That was the one thing that when I was voicing that thing on that Buzzcocks video, that was like genuine. Like you can fuck right off buying all the toilet rolls. So I was like, I'm fucking sick.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
People are like filling their garages with toilet rolls, man.
But this is the problem with what social media is about. Social media, although people thought it was mint in the start, it's basically give everyone in the whole fucking world an opinion of what's going on in their head, and they just say fucking shit, and it's stupid. So even when people were posting on social media saying everybody about the toilet roll situation, everyone's stealing toilet roll and putting it on, then other people were then reading that and going, "Oh, everyone's been stealing the toilet roll, I'm gonna have to go and get some." So then more people were going to get it, and it's just this fucking one line, just keep on going and going and going. Just use a bit of common sense, and it shows you a little bit of like who the people who are like stealing this and like going buying and stockpiling it, or like buying all the hand gels and then selling them for like £8 and that, like making money out of people's misery. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? To me, you should just be kind and just fucking help everybody out. You know what I mean? I just didn't get it.
Nah, neither do I. It's funny though, because it is like a weird thing. Because I went down to the shop today and I was like, "Oh, have you got any of them hand gels in? Because I'm making a fucking fortune on them on eBay at the minute." No, I went down to the shop to get to get some blobs. I was trying to get them ones where you shoot them in the end, they float down onto your dick in a trap, wouldn't it? But they said they haven't got them in yet because of the delay in China getting them over. So anyway, I went down and the lad in the shop was like, "Oh, you're all right?" And he went, "We've got bread today." And I was like, "All right, okay." And I was thinking, "Oh, that's excellent." When you're kind of like, "Hey, mate, it's kind of good down here at the minute. Like we've fucking got bread and everything, man." And I was like, "All right." He went, "Are you not wanting some?" And I was like, "No." And he was just like, "Oh, right, right, okay then." And I was like, "Fucking hell, you're making us worry now." Like, I'm thinking I need to buy some bread. And I was like, "All right, well, I didn't even want bread. I bought bread. I don't even know why I fucking bought it. I mean, my son will have it." And he was like, "Oh, well, we've got two types." And I was just like, "What?" And I was like,
bread?
"Yeah, we haven't got any brown." He was like, "You can't get brown bread." "Oh, it's rare that, like, it's rare." And I was like, fucking hell, are these like Pokemons now? Like, you can't get the fuckers. So, yeah, getting brown bread's really hard. And he was like, "We've only got white." And I'm not much of a fan of white bread. Like, I just didn't think it's got any flavour. So, anyway, I got some. It doesn't. I had some tonight and I was like, this bread is like, it's almost like polystyrene.
What are you eating it? Are you just like getting fucking slices of bread out of the bread and just eating it? Put some fucking shit on it and it tastes different.
Oh no, the bread is there. I had a beef sandwich. I made like a roast dinner today.
What? And you were really commenting on the bread and going, "Oh, you know what? This beef sandwich is lacking. It's just lacking brown bread. It's really the white bread."
No, I would never have. To be honest with you, I wouldn't. I would probably have a stotty, and I think the stotty's a bit better. But no, you know, like I didn't mind white, like blue Mazar stotty breads, but the actual sliced white bread is just like for me, unless it's a bacon sandwich, I wouldn't touch the stuff. So anyway.
I'm thinking, you know, when we do like the midweek preview of the podcast, do you reckon we could put the section about where we're talking about bread? Because this is excellent. Oh, do we? Oh. Well, I'm totally one of them new. This Adam and Norm podcast minting that. Like, I've just got into it this month. I wonder what the next podcast is going to be. Oh, it's about fucking bread. What?
Like
Sorry
a
about
5-minute
that.
Conversation.
I think we'll hook that fucker hooked you in with that Buzzcocks video. And now we're talking about bread. Fucking hell. I love tiger bread, though. I will give you that, though. That's good.
See, I told you. This is the thing. People like to
what
talk
me and
about
Will
bread.
used to do with bread, like, we used to get the tiger bread
What
from
we used to do with bread? Oh, lad, I tell you, back in my day, what we used to do with bread and fucking make your toes curl. We used to get a stotty, we used to hollow it out, we used to fucking on a park bench.
No, we did. It was close, actually. We did hollow the bread out, right? But then we didn't fuck it. Wait there. And then we just buy like a pack of sausages, a pack of bacon, some steak,
and then
fry an egg, and then we'd fuck it. No, then we'd cook it out and put it inside the big tiger bread and eat it. You used to be there. We used to go to the shops on a Saturday, and you used to be there going, "Oh, I don't do that. I just smoke rollies."
Well, I was training to be a lighthouse keeper. Aye, so there we go. We've covered the bread stats. What else? We did one episode that was all about boiled eggs. So this one, maybe this episode should be called like
Breadalicious.
Seeded batch or something. Breadalicious, aye.
I do like Hovis though, the green one. So
what's your plans? What's your plans for this week then?
I'm fucking self-isolating still. So
I am
another
as well, to be
weekend,
honest.
14 days. But I'm not allowed out. We're corona'd up in here, like, so.
You're not allowed out at all, even for exercise?
Oh, yeah, we have. We went, drove the car all the way down to look at some swans and fed them through the cars because I wasn't allowed out. So I'm just
threw the what? You threw a calf?
Throwing the bread out the window for the swans.
Oh, right.
With the kids and that.
I saw you on Look North. We're like, you seen these fucking idiots?
Two people.
They've got coronavirus and they think it's funny to feed swans. Adam Raffle and his wife went out there and they decided to take bread that's at a shortage and throw it at birds that belong to the Queen.
Well, actually, I looked up that stat. That actually don't belong. Not all swans belong to the Queen. I think it's just really? The ones on the river.
Stats?
On the River Thames. I don't know if that's a thing. If it's the River Thames again.
River Thames. You didn't get swans on the Thames, do you?
Nah, fucking didn't. Nah, somewhere down there. And
fuck off. The Queen. The Queen is very specific about her swans. She insists that they swim on the Thames, and
yes,
the rest of the swans can fuck right off.
Mm-hmm. That is what it is. Prince Philip. I don't know if it's the River Thames. I don't know. Again, it's the facts, but it's some river or some place down there in London, outside our house or whatever. But it's only the ones on there because I thought it was all swans around. So I did check that fact, but totally retained none of the important information about location or anything. So there's a little thing about you.
Well, that's
Bread,
good.
Swans. Mm-hmm. Bread. Some swans don't like loads of different types of bread. So
swans are picky. They're royal, aren't they? So the ones on the Thames are anyway. They wouldn't touch white bread. You throw them white bread and they'll just
like a scone.
Yeah, they're like a scone, or they're like I don't know. Oh, I've got something to talk to you about. You know that politician from Scotland, the woman.
Yep.
How fucking Scottish does she look?
She's
so fucking Scottish. She fucking actually is 100% Scottish. Like, whenever she comes on TV, I go, fuck off. She's too Scottish for me. I can't deal. She's like literally everything about Scotland, all in her face, in her hair, everything. She's just like so Scottish.
I once had a TV mag with a picture of her on the front, and I said to my son, how I will trace some pictures, and I traced her, right? And then when I turned it round, it was just a Scottish flag that came out. It was weird.
I did it. It was just a Scottish fiver that came out.
Was it?
What do you call it?
Nicola Sturgeon or something?
Surgeon, aye. I mean, I didn't like to make comments about people's appearance, and I'm not saying she's like, you know. I mean, I think she's quite an attractive Scotsman. No, she's so Scottish looking. It's kind of fucking weird. Like I've never, you know, when you see people and you like kind of go, oh, he looks like Avena, like this, or he looks like that, or she looks this, that, and the other. She totally looks Scottish, like so Scottish. It's quite uncanny.
Do you ever remember that time that Andy Wright one of my friends, Andy Wright got so drunk he looked scouse?
Yes. He used to get scouse drunk. I did. He did. I remember that, when he used to get so drunk and he would look scouse. Actually, I was going to mention, it's been kind of good to get this podcast up and going and like obviously making a little bit of a comeback and stuff, because like I got a message off Andy Wright the other day. He obviously feels like I'm important enough to like text again. Carl sent us one, which was nice as well. But I got can you remember Barry Thomas from school?
Yes,
he got in touch as well. He was. He's a nice lad. He got in touch on the Twitter, and he sent a message in, and he was basically saying that he's listening to the show and he loves it and that, and he's been like an early supporter of ours, because I remember when we first made the music. I think he's one of the first people to buy the songs, because I remember seeing his name popping up in them
as well.
That's right. So Barry Thomas, he got in touch. So that was nice, and I just said, hello Barry, I hope you're all right. He got in touch
to me as well. He said, he touched you. He touched me in places that I'm not allowed to mention, but according to my lawyer. But we're in America now, not solicitor. He just said, look, I've spoke to you on Twitter. I think it was Norm I spoke to. Just letting you know, maybe if the podcast was just you and Norm was not in there, it would be a little bit better. And I was like, but we've got to like do something for him and that, because he's,
he's a bit, well, this is it. You've got to keep me in society. Like, yeah, because if you don't, I'll just disappear. I'm like Anthony Hopkins. I'll just disappear with cats. I'll just be up in the mountains somewhere, like feeding cats and just like drawing trees and stuff like that. Because you know that I just absolutely hate people. So you got to keep us grounded. But yeah. So it'd be nice that. So, I guess that's maybe like a nice. Maybe we should end this podcast on Barry Thomas.
I think you know Barry. Someone wrote on Instagram as well. Someone wrote on Instagram just before you go that I think every time I go to say a thingy, it feels like I'm going to ask another question, and then Norm looks at the 40-minute mark and the podcast goes off, and he says, "Can you ask another question so that we can keep on going for a little bit?" So,
really.
He did actually say that. I'm not even a joke.
What? Is it not the same? Is it not Sean Robson who's got cameras up in your house?
Oh, it might be.
That might be what it is. Howard, what's the question then?
No, he didn't. He did. What question do you want us to ask you?
Well, I don't know. You said something about questions.
Someone said.
I don't know. Was it Jack Crit 03? I reckon that when Norman gets the urge to go, I think that'll do for the day. Around the 40-minute mark, Adam should interrupt him with one more question, just as a little treat for us. Okay, here's a little question we're going to ask for you today. Norman, what is your favourite type of biscuit? And if you did have a biscuit, what would you do with it other than eat it if it didn't melt in your pocket?
Well, Adam, I'm glad you brought that up, and it's actually been on my mind for a bloody long time. One of my favourite biscuits, and always has been one of my favourite biscuits, is actually the delicious chocolate digestive. And my reason for that is because I believe it to be the perfect biscuit for dunking. I know there's a lot of fake information out there on the internet that you might read about custard creams being a good dunk or the hobnob, but I believe firmly that the chocolate-coated digestive to be the best. And also, you can use it as a ninja star to kill swans.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. What a question to finish on.
All you have to do is take 3 bites out of it and you're left with a ninja star. You throw it at a swan and you'll make the queen get pissed off, and before you know it, you'll be having a tea party in Buckingham Palace and entertaining the royals with your anecdotes about making ninja stars out of chocolate biscuits.
And all of you at home who actually can't see Norm, because I can see him on his webcam here while we're doing this umbrella, he actually has several swans' heads chopped off and pinned on his wall, like they do.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, man. That's what I do. I'm an artist. You know, I like to have the death
of swans around me. That's what I do. I bathe in the blood of swans. So yeah, that's where I'm at now with my creative side. I'm into blood. Yeah, big time.
I'm into blood. blood, pigeons and swans. That's all.
Look, I've got a saying, okay? I say, look, let it bleed.
Love, let it bleed, if anything.
Love, let it bleed. I tell you what.
That's a new song that with love, let it bleed, love, let it bleed.
Sounds like something like E17.
Yeah, that was Love, Let It Rain.
Let it bleed.
Aye. Thanks for telling everyone, though, that I used that melody and totally sold us out there.
Was it actually E17?
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's my musical talents coming out there, picking it up on it. Yeah. I even know what key it was in. It was in no, I didn't. I tell you what, though, we're meant to end this podcast a bit back, but we'll keep going because I know people are in lockdown.
But Jimmy Cricket wanted a fucking extra question, didn't I? Give him it.
No, I think it's a good idea. I think every time I say, right, it's time to go, you should just surprise us with a little question, like, I don't know, like what you did. But I've got something for you. I've got a little question for you. What's the worst biscuit? What's the fucking biscuit that pisses you off the most? The one that you look at and you just go, fuck you.
Do you know what it is as well? It's probably controversial, this, like, but you know that like pack of biscuits you used to be able to get, and you got that like pink wafer in it. And I always used to think when I was little, the pink wafer and that, it's fucking shit, that, like, isn't it?
What, the pink wafer?
Or do you like it? Aye.
I didn't mind it. It adds a bit of colour. I think in the biscuit world...
No, it tricks you. It adds the colour and you go, ooh, fucking setting it off there with a bit of pink all between the brown biscuits and stuff like that. And that,
but it's a bit dry.
You get it and you eat it and you go, that was a bit dry, a bit shit, like. You know what you could use that for? Shove it up your arse.
It's funny, actually, because I kind of sure... I was actually just about to say that biscuit is what I would refer to as the equivalent of Elton John in the biscuit world. And then your story. So Elton's solicitors. I
don't know why I'm doing Coldplay. It was supposed to be your song.
My worst biscuit is actually, I noticed that Sam Fender's mates with Elton John now. So,
is he?
Aye. So this might get bad at Elton. This, like, Sam Fender might be like chilling with Elton, and I've just clicked on. What if Sam Fender, right, is listening to the podcast, and then he's in Barbados? He's not listening.
It's fucking Bermuda, man. Get the fuck.
Oh, that's what I mean. He's in Bermuda with Elton John. Elton John will listen to this and he'll be like, the fucking arseholes. Or wherever he's from. I don't even know where he's from. Is he from?
Watford.
Watford, yeah. Well, that's a good bloody Watford accent that I just did there. I don't know what sound like Watford.
Fucking hell, just keep up with De Niro and shit, whatever you do, you know what I mean? No, you're fucking here.
Yeah, that was my De Niro cough. That's perfect, that. I've been perfecting it. So my worst biscuit. Hang on a minute, mate.
I was still going on that, like, that's what I was answering.
Well, it was not like the fucking Adam show. You've got to let me have my turn as well. You're like going, them pink biscuits that you put up your arse. I love dipping them. And then, when you talk about refer to dipping, I'm like talking about like dipping them up my own arse and then eating them. Well, no, my
do you still go dogging with your biscuits?
I do. I think it's nice to have a treat afterwards because it calms everyone down. Some people smoke. I have a biscuit.
Is that why? Because it's always at the lighthouse, isn't it? Because you're the lighthouse keeper. So you always come out with your torch and go, who's dogging down here? Yeah, no smoking through the windows. Come on.
That's a term in the dogging world, the lighthouse keeper.
Is it?
Aye. Well, I taught you them blobs where you shoot in the end and float down on your dick. Well, that's it. I've got one that's got like a little thing that like the light stays on permanently, just shines out, and that just gives everyone the signal that it's all right to get your piece out and start swinging it. So yeah, but my worst biscuit, to get back on point, is
we're still going on about the fucking biscuit.
The custard cream.
That's a worst biscuit.
I fucking hate the custard creams. I can't stand.
You mentioned it before, innit? Yeah, I heard it before. You were going like, some people will see online it's a custard cream, and I thought, oh, he's got something against custard creams. What is it?
I hate them. I just think they're awful. I just think, why would you want to eat a biscuit that's got like something that's just not even custard inside? What the fuck is that stuff inside of it? And that biscuit hasn't even got chocolate in it. It's just like, what is it, vanilla or something? What's the flavour of the biscuit that's on it? It's awful.
Cream.
Oh, people in my house love them. I'm the only one who doesn't like custard cream, and I'm not going to get into all the things I hate.
Fucking loads of people in your house. People in my house fucking love them.
Yeah, so custard cream's my worst. So that's where we'll end it then. I said originally to end it on Barry Thomas, but we're actually going to end it on my hatred for custard creams. So, sorry, Barry. I tried. I tried to give you a big up there, but unfortunately...
Well, we are still giving Barry a big up.
You know you're fucking giving him a bit of a big up as well. Actually, Barry, if Adam turns up at your house with some of them pink biscuits, don't open the door. He's been in isolation and he'll probably be a little bit horny.
Well, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So end it there. That's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I think this is a good place to end it. We've covered all the stats. We've got everything in there. I think this is it. This has turned out quite a good one. Hopefully it all works out. Yeah, and people listen to it and say, them bloody lads from Newcastle, they make me chuckle to myself. Someone actually, this is where I'll end it, right? I swear this is the last thing. Someone did send us a message saying, oh, lads, I love the podcast. I listen to it and it makes us smirk, I think his word was. And I thought, oh, fucking hell, how are you, mate, man? You could at least lie and say it makes you laugh. I thought, well, you know that comedy where you watch it and you just smile. You don't even laugh. But you go, oh, it's all right. I'll let them off. I'll just smile and watch it. We are that to him. I thought, oh, well, he didn't say he laughed, he just said he smirked, so...
Well, that's excellent. Now, thanks a lot, mate, for smirking at our podcast. Yeah. It's not for everyone, but a smirk will do. It's better than saying it's shit.
Yeah, well, that's it. And just, actually, before we go, we've got to end on subscribe. Subscribe to our podcast.
Subscribe. Get word to number...
Get with a number.
I mean, you don't just get the Bermuda for number one for having nobody, so we need more people because what we've got our hearts set on. We did originally say, hey, Bermuda, let's get there, let's retire, but I fancy Kazakhstan, number one.
Definitely. I think
Sky's
we need to be, like, up there with, like, I don't know, we need to be selling out arenas, like, what you call them and his missus. That's what we need to be doing. We need to be number one. So we need to, you need to leave reviews.
Subscribe and write some reviews on Apple Podcasts. People are still reviewing it 5 stars still. Thanks very much.
Yeah, that's really nice of you.
Just write some reviews and just say, you're really funny and and stuff like that. And follow the Adam Norm podcast on Instagram. Go on the
Tell
YouTube,
your friends.
Tell your friends. Go on the Twitter, which is @_Norm. Follow Buzzcocks and Tracker, who are I am Buzzcocks and I am Tracker on Twitter. Just get them followed and join in the fun and games. Join in the fun and games.
Yeah, that's what we'll end it. We'll end it with a Macam. Join in the fun and games, mate. See you later, mate.
See you later, mate. See you.
Right.
Cheers.
End of the podcast, mate. Bye-bye.